Good evening, all, and welcome to the first adventure of the evening, which I've entitled A Grung of a Different Color. Before we hop into it, as always, we're going to take a brief moment and introduce our characters. So without further ado, I'd like to begin by introducing a brand new character here in the land of D&D. We have Moraath, the Tiefling Barbarian. Moraath, nice to meet you. Hello.
Yes, hello. What sort of introduction should I make? Is it like a hello, this is who I am, this is what I do, I like this kind of food, or do we cut straight to the point here?
I think the answer is up to you. I mean, this is who I am, this is what I do would be great, but also I would love to hear what the point is.
Well, I'm. How do I say this? I'm Moraath. I'm obviously a tiefling, kind of like a half devil demon thing. I have nice wings. I was born with these. And nobody else in my family has them. It's kind of weird. I used to be a
Fortunate, I would even say.
Yes, I used to be a lumberjack in my youthful days, and when I switched occupations, I did not actually really change all that much. I was still a lumberjack, but of a different definition. Instead of cutting
dear.
trees, I would cut people.
Oh dear. And this is, I think, how you found yourself in the employ of Bartholomew, who cutting people is very often part of the job description.
Yes, for several years before I found this troop, I was an officer in my local army. So I find myself here after retiring to the request of my mother.
Well, we are very glad that you've been able to join us. I have no doubt that your skills are going to be invaluable as a member of Bartholomew's adventuring troop. Moraath, I can't wait to learn more about you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Of course. Next up, we have returning Lana Coheir. Lana, hello, how are you?
About the usual.
From what I understand, Lana, there was a big kind of stir around your home village of late.
I heard about that, but I've not bumped into Sword to ask him lately.
Yes, I suppose things are very busy. You get kept very busy by Bartholomew. Not a lot of time for chit chat. How have you been, Lana? Tell me, is there anything new?
Not too much. Outside of the usual, I've been out at sea for the last 2 weeks, so I'm afraid I haven't had time to catch up on.
Mm-hmm. What have you been doing out at sea, Lana?
Just being a deckhand.
Just making some honest wages outside of the adventuring lifestyle, huh?
Well, I mean, I go in and work jobs for Bartholomew, but I mean, in between that, I've got nothing but free time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, those jobs, you get some power out of those jobs. You get magical items and money to spend in a shop, but they don't pay in a lot of real coin.
Right, and I have a mouth to feed.
Of course. Well, Lana, I'm glad that you have an opportunity to join us once more. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Next up, we have joining us Navera. Navera, how are you?
Greetings, I'm doing rather well. How are you?
I'm doing well as well. Thank you for asking. So, Navera, tell me, how has your Fey hunt been going? Has it proceeded anymore? Any fresh kills?
Yes, indeed. This new bow does not disappoint. I must pass my regards on to Bartholomew. And along the way, I've found a partner, let's say, who shares a similar hatred for the disgusting knifing. Sorry.
I understand. I know it can be difficult to speak of your hated enemy at times, but who is your partner that you found?
This is Omen. He's a wolf I found just wandering the Feywilds. I'm not entirely sure what he was doing there, but he certainly isn't a fan of the monsters.
You said Omen was the name?
Omen, yes.
Yes. Omen's a wolf, and you two just became very fast friends, it seems like.
Indeed. His howl is an omen for the disgusting creatures that their time is at an end.
Is that a name that you chose, or I suppose it must be?
Yes.
Yes.
Despite my abilities with nature, I am yet unable to commune with the wild animals.
perhaps that is something that you may be able to do someday, Navera. But for now, well, I'm very happy that you've made a companion that shares, would you call it a passion that you have?
I'd call it a dedication.
A dedication. Well, Navera, welcome back. And as I said, I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we have another completely new adventure here within the lands of DnDTime. We have Lados High Hill. Did I pronounce your name right? Lados.
Lados.
Lados. Lados, would you welcome to the land of DnDTime for starters? Would you care to tell us a little bit about yourself? Things like, race, class, what kind of brings you here to the land of DnDTime?
Oh, yes. I'm Lados, as you have heard. I'm a rogue.
Oh.
I've always been more the sneaky type. I hate interacting with people unless I have to. I'm a Lightfoot, so of course I'm light on my feet, even though that isn't my real description. I am, objectively, I say I'm a good person. Of course, some people may object. I often steal from the noble. I dislike them very much because a lot of the times I have found that they're nothing but jerks.
That is so often the case, isn't it?
I have a wife and 2 children, which that's actually the reason why I'm coming here. So I can raise money for them so they can have a nice life.
What a noble ambition. Please, go on. I said, what a noble ambition. Please, continue.
I oftenly stay stealthy because I find it easier to kill my enemies with.
I mean, that certainly makes quite a bit of sense. And I think that you'll find yourself in just the sort of environment that, well, desires that kind of play style. As you've been kind of told by Bartholomew here on your first adventurer, as a member of Bartholomew's adventuring troupe, that you'll be being sent into a very dense forest, a jungle known as the Wildewoad, a region here in the lands of DnDTime. All of you are kind of standing around within Bartholomew's shop as he greets you. Greetings, adventurers. It is good to see you. Lados, Moraath, welcome. I assume you're ready for your first challenges today?
Precisely.
Why, yes, I am.
Yeah, very good. Lana and Navera, I'll trust the two of you to show them the ropes around here. But from what I understand, the two of these individuals are highly competent. They shouldn't, well, I'm sure they won't slow you down at all. And what I have for you is work in the Wildewoad. You see there are you familiar with Grung?
Frog people?
Yes, little frog people. They're sort of like poisonous dart frogs if they got big and sentient and kind of vicious a lot of the times. One of those is actually hired our services, which is rare. Little green one, I guess his name's Thumb. He needed help. I'm not entirely sure what. You'll have to talk to him and see what he wants. But apparently it shouldn't be him. He said nothing too challenging for the likes of our great adventurers here. So,
did you say thumb or thug?
A thumb, and he just holds up his thumb. Like thumb.
Okay.
Yes.
That's not very descriptive, but it's better than the alternative.
It's just his name. I don't know. You'll have to ask him about it.
Navera glances towards Lana and just mutters, "Finally, not something that an average 4-year-old could complete."
I wouldn't be too cocky. These swamplands can be treacherous.
Still better than being sent on a shopping mission.
Fetch quests are really not my style.
Well, I think he said he needed something killed, so I'm not sure about what it was. But, well,
please be Faye. Please be Faye. Please be Faye.
Perfect.
If you don't have any more questions for me, I can send you on your way.
No, I do not.
Come on, man.
Wonderful. And he snaps his fingers, and all of a sudden, without any kind of strange sounds or any feeling of being shifted, you're just in a different environment. You find yourselves standing in a dense forest. And around you, in tall trees, you can see built up around the tops of them, there are wooden houses. And among those houses, you can see all manner of what are very clearly Grung, these very small, brightly colored frog people that are jumping about, moving between the branches with incredible ease as they kind of climb up the sides into their sort of treetop homes. They kind of just talk amongst each other in a very strange language. You can kind of hear them speaking high above you, and it's all very is kind of the tones that you're hearing coming from above you. And yeah, you are now in this Wildewoad Grung village. As you're kind of moving along, you see a small green Grung kind of run up to you as you start just kind of taking in the surroundings. And he kind of looks out to you. Hi there! Hello! Hi! Hello!
Thumb, I presume.
I'm Thumb! I've been waiting for you. Bartholomew, the wizard man, he told me to wait for you right here.
And how may we help you?
Oh, I'm really excited for this one. Yes, you can help me really easy. I need you to help me kill a big monster.
What kind of monster?
I think they're hunting. It's like a dinosaur, but it has 3 horns.
First of all, you said dinosaur. Second of all, I think that's called a triceratops. But I could be wrong. Mops.
That's the one. That sounds like it. I don't know. I don't usually hunt, but I want to hunt. You want to come with me?
Triceratops.
Okay, I guess we're doing this.
I have no choice. I'm just following everybody else.
Navera glances over to Lana again before giving like a small shrug and lead the way.
All right, we're just going back to my phone. And he kind of jumps a little bit away. He's moving a bit outside of what looks like the main confluence of Grung here. And this little green frog begins leading you through the jungle until he eventually gets to what appears to be like an area with a little bit of a pond, and there's like a small tree hut at the top of it. And you can see here there's a bunch of things growing, and it looks like just a little farm that he has carved out. All right, we're going to leave from here. You see, I'm a green Grung, and green Grung usually work on stuff like farms, and my farm's really good, but I don't really want to be a farmer. I kind of want it always to be an elite warrior, like an orange Grung.
Why don't you just paint yourself?
Well, it doesn't quite work like that. They have special paint that they paint on the people, and it makes me orange for real.
So, magic paint.
Magic paint. He agrees.
Since you're wanting to become a elite warrior, is the way you have become a warrior because you need to prove?
Wait, can you say that last word again?
Is it because you need to prove yourself to be able to become an elite warrior? Or is it just a class system?
Well, kind of both. People, I was born to be in a green one, and you do have to. If a green one's going to be an orange one, like an elite warrior, you do have to prove yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Well, I thought I'm not really good at fighting at all, but maybe if I killed the thing they were hunting today for the king's big feast, that I might become an elite warrior.
To be a hunter is a noble aspiration. I'm willing to help. Point us in the direction of this beast.
Yeah, we should get going, because the king's hunting party's probably already after it. He kind of jumps and begins hopping forward into the jungle, and he speaks out. Yeah, there's gonna be other people hunting it too, but you just have to make sure that I'm the one that kills it, because whoever kills it gets all the glory, even if someone else did all the work.
We'll put you on top of the thing when they find its corpse.
That sounds really good. He continues hopping forward in the jungle. So, and then he stops and looks back. How do we find those Triceratops?
I'm well used to a forest. I'll lead the way.
All right.
Very well.
So yeah, he sends you off into the jungle, giving you kind of a general idea of where he knows the elite warriors around here do the hunting, but he actually doesn't seem to have any clue about how to find this thing, or like how one would track.
Right. Navera has Natural Explorer Forest. It's not actually telling me what that does, but I presume that's somewhat helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, for starters, I think it gives you advantage on like survival checks to track things in your respective domain.
All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna, suppose, roll a survival check to track a thingy. What do you call it? Triceratops.
He was saying Triceratops. You think he just didn't know the names.
Oh, okay. We were hunting like a mouse with 3 horns, and I was so confused. Okay.
No, yeah. So for starters, and this is probably going to take a few different things. If you guys have other skills you can contribute, you guys are in what would be considered a skill challenge at the moment. So for starters, make a survival check with advantage.
Okay, yeah, I will do that. So.
All right, 21. Yeah, not a problem. You are working your way through the forest, and you are looking around, and you're very used to this. This is your ideal location. This is where you do most of your hunting anyway. And while you're not necessarily used to the exact flora and fauna, it doesn't become too hard for you to pick up on tracks as sizable as that of a Triceratops. So you begin finding the trail and following and searching your way through, tracking down what looks like one of these very large reptilian creatures. Does anyone else have skills they'd like to contribute as you're moving through and kind of looking for this thing?
I'd like to roll my perception.
Yeah, certainly. Perception's definitely
Same here.
on the list.
All right.
Yeah, you guys can both roll if you'd like.
I've got nothing
Ooh.
to contribute here.
I suppose since Navera's kind of, tracking, she's not paying much attention to her surroundings. Or she's paying too much attention? You know what I mean. Can't roll a perception.
And the way you want to roll your stuff, because I know you're not used to roll 20, it seems. If you go on your character sheet and just click the skill perception, it'll roll it like it did with swords and the green or grays on survival. So just click on the perception skill on your roll 20 character sheet, Cloud Kills. There you go. Oh no.
Perfect. Here we go.
Yeah, you two are both kind of looking around and trying to get a good sense of the environment that you're in. And you're following the tracks, but both of you hear what sounds like a very loud noise, almost like the stomping of feet off in the distance. And you kind of pull away from the tracks that you're following to, go after this. And then as you get closer, you think, oh, maybe this tree just fell over, as you see a fallen tree. And now you're a little bit further off course. And it's definitely... using your natural explorer, you don't get lost in the woods, but it does definitely take you off of the path for some time, and it's kind of slowing you down. So you get kind of one success and one failure in this challenge.
This is the whole group, right? We all.
Yeah, you guys
okay.
are moving as a team.
Making sure they didn't. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So Navera's just gonna keep tracking roll survival.
If you have you can only use each one once, is the idea in a skill challenge. So if you have a different skill that you think would
I have a wolf that can sniff for tracks.
Yeah, it's still perception, but I think I'll allow it since it's
Sweet.
Definitely a significant part of your character in addition.
Crap.
I will change that. I don't know if you have the power to.
I do not. I've also got to add +2 to it, but it does have advantage when using hearing or smell, so it's still a crit.
All right, if you could just roll again, just so
sure.
that people can see. Yeah, that's one of the rolls. It's got to show up.
My apologies.
No worries. It's our I'll around to it. 20. All right. So yeah, your wolf is just kind of tracking and keeping very low down to the ground. And as is Omen male, female?
Yeah, Omen is male.
All right. As he's kind of sniffing the ground and looking around, he begins to like pick up the tracks and fall a little bit more quickly. The ground here is a little bit firmer, and the tracks aren't quite so pronounced. But he continues to guide you now that he's kind of caught the scent on his moving forward. You guys have 2 successes and 1 failure so far. So 1 more success, and you guys will reach the creature in a pretty good time.
Navera could climb a tree?
Does anyone else have a skill that they think they would be able to utilize in this instance?
Or doesn't someone have wings?
Yes, I do have wings.
I can use my investigation skill.
What are you kind of looking for? Just like signs of...
Yeah, the signs for the beast and other possible signs where...
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and make me an investigation check. Oh, no! As you're looking around, you're finding again. You're getting thrown off the track again as you're seeing signs of like broken branches and different things that are a little bit out of place. And as you're moving forward and following these things, your Grung companion here, Thumb, who's been kind of just letting you take the lead after showing you the first little area, like, oh no, right! And he points out. Like what looks like a blow dart that's been stuck into the tree. These are the hunters. These are the tracks of the... Well, these aren't the tracks of the creatures. These are just what other Grung do. So I think there's just an old hunting party that came through here. We should probably go back the other way.
Maybe leave the tracking to the professionals next time.
Right now, it's a good idea. It's just... Well, you just tracked to something different. You got 2 successes and 2 failures. Does anyone else have another unique way they think they could help out in this situation?
Since I have wings, I can technically fly and look out a bit.
I think that's another variation on perception. Even though, again, still perception, I think I'll still allow it in this case. So, if you want to fly up and make a perception from the bird's eye view, that is, I think, reasonable. So go ahead and make me a perception check.
Okay, I'm gonna fly up. Try and look around looking around. Obviously, I just said that, but here we go.
14, all right. And you do catch up in the distance. You can see what looks like a disturbance in the trees. You can see some like waving in the top branches, which either is from something high up rustling them, which you think is probably unlikely, or something very big moving beneath them.
I found something in the direction. I'm looking at it right now. It's off. I'm not sure how distance works here, but I know in which direction to go. Come on and follow me. We might have something.
All right. You begin leading the party now that you've kind of seen the signs of it. And sure enough, as you get closer, and closer, you begin hearing those heavy footsteps a little bit more in earnest. And you can see, as you kind of crest through what looks like a bit of a clearing, and then there's like a little bit of a watering hole. There is a very large triceratops that is kind of settling down to kind of drink at the pool at the moment. And Thumb, who's right next to you, kind of calls it, "Oh, that's it. That's the one. That's what the king likes to eat. I'm going to bring it for the feast, and then I'll be an orange Grung. So just make sure I get the kill, because if any of you kill it, or if any of the other Grung kill it..." And you can see now, on the other side of the clearing, there's a Grung that looks like they're... there's a Grung that looks like they're creeping up kind of behind it at the moment. If any of the other Grung get it, well then, that's not good for me, because then they get it.
Be such a shame if these other Grung were to meet with a accident.
Yeah, that would be really sad.
She does facepalm a little bit at that one, like, oh, Jesus Christ.
I see what you're going for.
Okay.
Let's just make sure. Let's just make sure we either get this over with quickly, or we might have to do a little bit more cleanup out here than expected.
And
I'd rather not kill who I don't have to.
Isn't that in the job description?
I guess.
First
Very
order of business. The Triceratops. What do you think?
And while you're kind of having this conversation, you can see that Grung that was creeping up behind it gets a little bit closer, and then all of a sudden it just lets out kind of a very loud is kind of the noise that it makes. And the creature all of a sudden kind of turns around and stares at this tiny little frog creature that's just staring it down singularly. And it seems to be like rearing up to charge at the creature. Are you guys doing anything?
Navera draws her longbow and takes aim, but does not fire.
Okay.
Lados again also draws his bow, but does.
Okay.
Moraath is going to pull a heavy crossbow off of his back.
Okay. Everyone's got those big ranged. And you see Thumb kind of pull out. All right, just tell me when I should fire my one. I can do a shot. It doesn't hit very hard, but if it was like almost dead, I would probably get it.
When
and
the little green midget disappears underneath its foot.
Yeah, he's got his blowgun out right now, and he's just getting ready to fire at the creature. And yeah, the Triceratops is barreling it down, and it kind of begins kind of stomping its foot on the ground and kind of pulling and dragging it across, kind of kicking up dirt, getting ready. And then you see it begin to charge forward. It lets out a as it crests and the feet begin pounding along the ground, and it gets closer and closer to the Grung in front of you. And then you see that Grung, a little bit before it's about to collide, go and pop something into its mouth, and then all of a sudden that Grung inflates very kind of big and becomes almost round like a balloon as their neck becomes, like I said, balloon-like, and then they jump immensely high up into the air. The Triceratops kind of zips past the spot where they are, and from the forest and just the trees high up above, all surrounding this clearing, you see a whole bunch of like bows and needles all fly out of the woods and strike at the spot right from where that Grung dodged. You all have ready to action as well. Do you also want to fire at the creature? Or are you just gonna watch this Grung hunting party seems to be well underway of taking this thing down as it fires arrows. I am gonna actually make those attack rolls for them.
I will fire my short bow.
And these are all at advantage.
Looks like someone is already beaten us to this.
5, there's 6 in total. And let me look at this real quick. 3 of those arrows penetrate and pierce the very large creature's hide. You can see all of them, from what you know about the Grung and have learned from your little time with Thumb here. The arrows are all dipped in the poison of the Grung's skin.
Yeah, when Navera sees like the sky darken with the amount of Grung, she just kind of screams out, "What in the Fae?" And also, is anyone else kind of reminded of the Attack on Titan scene?
No.
With a bunch of people dropping out of the sky?
Nope.
No, just me. All right.
And
Yes.
He fails on 2 of those con saves as well. The Triceratops take a pretty hearty chunk of damage as they all kind of attack at once. So are you guys using your ready to actions, or are you still kind of hanging back and watching for the moment?
I guess I fire my bow.
All right, yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll. You have advantage because the Triceratops definitely did not know you were there.
Navera's also gonna fire.
All right.
I guess I'm firing because this is also at advantage, yes?
Yep.
Very well.
All right.
I'm going to hand one of my javelins to the Grung, little Grung, since I think he can.
He grabs it.
That little pea shooter is not going to do anything.
He grabs it, and as he holds it up over his head, he goes, "I'll do it!" And then as he's holding it, the weight of it just kind of flings him over to the side, and the javelin just sticks into the ground with him, like, holding on to it sideways.
Adorable.
How do I pick it up?
Navera
if it starts
kind of-
charging you, just bury the back end into the ground and hold the front end.
And in that case, I would like you guys to roll for initiative.
do we need to roll damage on the
Yeah, you need to roll damage as well. Both of all of you hit. Yeah.
Ta-da.
5.
Wow, that damage is great. I love that.
Click on the
Oh, ow.
weapon name in the scrolling text.
Thumb did not do great, and then the Triceratops.
All right.
So, okay, you see in the, like in the chat log, you see the name Shortbow, right? Right where you rolled your thing. Click on the short,
Yes.
like the name Shortbow. There you go.
There you go.
Nice
Omen
roll.
shares a initiative, right, with me? Right.
Yeah,
Wait.
to do the initiative, just click on the word initiative above your HP.
He got
Thank
it.
you for the help on that, guys.
Yeah, it takes its turn on my initiative.
All right. In that case, has everyone rolled? We have the Triceratops is actually first in this instance, and it's now looking around, kind of confused. All of the arrows just kind of coming from above in all these different directions, and you guys firing from the ground have left it disoriented, and it's just looking up now at that at the one that's just floating now down very slowly and gradually in kind of its balloon form, and kind of waiting for it to come down, as that's all it does on its turn. It's just too confused and overwhelmed by all the attacks coming into it from one direction, and so it's basically readying its action to go after anything that comes within range of it. And so that's all for the Triceratops' turn. That's going to bring us next to initiative 2. It will be Moraath.
Actually, wouldn't that be Lados because he has the better modifier?
You're right. That is true. Lados, go ahead.
All right. I fire my bow. It hits and does 10 damage.
Well, hold up.
I fire my bow.
Oh no, you already fired your bow last time. That
Oh,
was your
okay.
that was
Yeah.
like a readied action. So this is a whole fresh turn. You get a new.
Okay. Then I fire my short bow again.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll. 21 is absolutely going to hit.
All right.
For another 10 damage.
And roll another 10. I think your short bow shouldn't be able to do that much damage.
All right. Then I'll change it.
No, it's no problem. I'm not sure what. Oh yeah, and you also shouldn't have a +10 to hit. I'm not sure how you put it together. Your plus to hit should be 5, and your damage should be 1d6 + 3.
I'll just have to go through and do everything with some help.
Okay, yes. Dex was added twice there. Jeremy's just gonna fix it up for you so it's working correctly.
Okay.
No worries. And so yeah, but you hit for 10 points of damage. Also, the creature is definitely you're still kind of attacking it and it can't see you. So as a rogue, you get to add your sneak attack. So do you want to go ahead and roll a d6 and tack on your sneak attack? So you do an extra 2 damage on top of that. So you hit it for another sizable chunk. The creature is letting out kind of howls and is raring about. Again, confused. It now is definitely fixated on your area in the woods where you're attacking from. It came in at ground level, so it seems to have a better handle on you than the Grung firing at it from the trees. And that's going to be all for your turn, I assume, as now we move on to Moraath.
I wish I could go hand to hand with this creature, but I can't. Instead, I'm just gonna knock another bolt into my crossbow, pull it back, and fire away.
All right. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Well, I was never known for being a really good shot. So...
Yeah, yeah, and the crossbow bolt kind of flies up and over, not being able to connect with the Triceratops. Anything else on your turn?
No, not particularly.
All right. That's going to, in that case, bring us around to the elite Grung. And you see a couple of them jump down to get a better look at where you guys are as they descend from trees. And they see the group of you kind of standing on the outskirts of the wood. And they kind of call out, "Back off! This is our kill!" And they're going to... one of them is going to whip back around and fire another arrow at the Triceratops, which is going to miss as it flies up and over. And the other one is going to let out this very strange noise. The one that they made before at the Triceratops, this one kind of pulls back its head and just goes again, and it's piercing, and it hits you at the ears, and you find yourself growing a little bit dazed. I need all of you to make wisdom saving throws. They use their
This
mesmerizing
poor
charm.
bastard is going to end up with everything in his face.
Out of roleplay, how do you make a wisdom save?
Yeah, you just click on the word wisdom saving throw where it is on your character sheet,
What?
kind of like the other stuff.
Right under where next to your
Yeah,
stats.
it's above the skills, and it says saving throws, and just click the one that says wisdom.
What is this annoying, piercing noise?
So yeah, Moraath, as you hear it, it drains you, and you kind of put your hands over your ears, and you are stunned until the end of this Grung's next turn. So you're stunned on your next round. And the rest of you are fine. You hear it, and it pierces, but it doesn't affect you quite so much as it did Moraath. The rest of them are going to keep just
Dude just
firing.
raises an eyebrow.
Are just going to keep firing and trying to strike the creature. There's 3 of them left that haven't gone yet, and then there's the one that's kind of floating, which drifts down and is kind of drifting down near the Triceratops. Doesn't seem to quite be able to control its speed, and so the Triceratops is going to get it as it comes down. And you watch as that one that jumped up and was the bait distraction, the Triceratops just mauls it with its horns and sends its body careening away to the side, absolutely dead. And the Triceratops takes a bunch more hits from the trees. It's going to make a couple con saves, and it's going to take more damage, maybe. But nope, does not take any extra damage there. So that's all for the Elite Warriors' turns, as we move now on to Navera.
Okay, Navera just kind of points at the Triceratops and shouts, "Omen, kill!" And before dropping her longbow and withdrawing both of her daggers and running at the Triceratops.
Okay, bold, I like it.
But
all right.
she does cast what do you call it? Sorry, ignore that. Jump on herself.
Okay, cool. So you imbue yourself with jump and begin running towards the Triceratops with Omen at your side.
Yes.
That's all for your turn?
Yeah, that should be it.
All right. In that case, that's going to bring us around to Thumb, and Thumb kind of looks over, and he goes,
All right, just a reminder, I have to do the last one to hit it, so I gotta shoot the last shot. So let me know when it's time. I'm just gonna be ready.
and Thumb readies his action to fire and to kill the Triceratops when you guys say that he should fire.
How is the Triceratops looking?
The Triceratops is starting to get beat up. It's getting pretty quick, but it's still,
Yeah.
you think it's got a good amount of fight left in it. And that's going to be all for his turn as we move now to you, Lana. Lana, what do you want to do?
Well, since things are getting out in the fray, I'm going to activate Rage and rush up and take a swing at it with my Great Axe.
All right. You go into a primal rage and begin rushing forward. As you run across the clearing, the Triceratops turns to face you, seeing a threat that feels like it can understand finally in the form of you, Lana, a thing running at with an axe. You hit with a 20, absolutely. Go ahead and roll damage on that. For 9 points of damage as you slam down with the axe. Triceratops groans and kind of braces itself, but looks furious and like it's going to come after you next. Anything else on your turn, Lana?
Is the Triceratops considered a large or massive creature?
It would be considered, I can tell you the answer to that, I believe it is a large creature.
Awesome.
I'm sorry, I lied. It's huge.
Dang.
Yeah, I just had to look.
All right, I'm good.
Okay. In that case, that's going to bring us around to the top of the initiative, which is going to bring us back to... that's going to bring us back to you, Lados. Lados, what do you want to do?
I would like to run up. I would try and stealth up to the beast and stab him with my short.
Okay. You can, you're kind of moving from the woods. If you wanted to stealth, you would have to basically take your turn to do so to make a stealth check and kind of set up your stealth. But you have allies next to it, so if you want to do a sneak attack, you would still get to apply sneak attack just for having an ally nearby.
Then I want to set up my stealth.
Okay, so you want to try and get the advantage on the attack roll.
Yes.
All right, in that case, go ahead and make a stealth check. You have an advantage because, okay, yeah, 24. You are gone. You are, you just kind of take a step over into the side, into the woods, and vanish from sight. So you are ready to strike with incredible precision and surprise on your next round. In that case, that's all for your turn of setting that up. We move now to Moraath, who you are currently stunned as your ears are still ringing with this terrible, terrible chirp that the Grung made. And that brings us to the Grung elite. And seeing that you are all kind of going after, the creature, some more of them are kind of like jumping down from the trees and getting into position, figuring that they now have essentially a second threat in the battle. And they definitely don't see you, Lados, but they see you, Moraath. Lana, you're right up next to the Triceratops, so they're fine with that. And Navera, they see you running forward. So they're going to take... two of them are going to take attack rolls at Moraath and Navera, respectively. So
and they just signed their death warrants, right?
So this attack's going to be against you, Navera.
That hits.
I need you to make a con save.
Okay. Ah, son of a bitch! Okay, con save.
You succeed, so you do not take the poison damage, you just take 4 points of poison damage. As a tiny little arrow from this Grung short bow strikes into you.
She rips it out and just like glares at the guy like, you're fucking next.
And the other one is going to fire at you. Moraath, you're stunned, so unfortunately it has advantage. Oh, jeez. That's a 19. I need you to make a con save. Oh, Moraath.
This is some bad luck.
Are you down?
No, I'm still up.
Ooh, nice. You're level 1, right? I'm not crazy.
Yes, I am level 1.
Okay, yeah. It's a beefy level 1. And so you you're still hanging on, just in rough shape. And that's going to be all for those Grung's turns. Well, there's going to be a couple more, but they're going to be continuing to fire at the Triceratops, which is going to hit for a lot. Oh my god. And they do a ton of damage to the... Wait, yep, that's the exact right amount. 2 of them are now on the ground. 3 of them are still just pelting it with arrows from the trees. And the Triceratops is... he succeeds on both of those saves, which is very good for him. But the Triceratops is, getting further and more whittled down. And Thumbs next to you.
Is it time? Do I get it? Is it low enough?
Does it look low enough? Can we roll to see if it...
Yeah, if you all want to make a nature check, you can go ahead
Yes.
and do that.
Sure.
All of us?
Yeah, if you want to. Just to kind of, in answer to Thumb's question here.
Moraath knows more about nature than the ranger.
Yeah, and you think it's you're looking at it and you're like, yeah, this creature's definitely getting pretty close to going down. You think, maybe it's going to take at least a few more hits, but he'll be ready to come in and maybe get the kill steal here if you hit it 2 more solid times before he fires. And Moraath, you look at the creature and you kind of identify. No, it's going to take more. This creature's very big and very kind of, bulky. You think maybe 3 good hits. What you would estimate in kind of, you would understand this in non-mechanical terms, but in mechanical terms, you think maybe 25 damage would put it at 1 health.
I don't think it's quite ready yet. It will take a little more than just this.
But yeah, you guys are, you can tell you're definitely very close to bringing this thing down, along with the Grung. And Thumb goes,
All right, I'm just nervous because if one of them gets the last hit, then I don't get the feast. It's not good at the feast.
What if they don't make it out alive?
Well, then it still wouldn't be my blowgun dart that killed it.
But who's to say they would know?
Oh. I don't know. I don't know.
doesn't seem down on that. And that's all for the foe turn as we move now to, the Triceratops got skipped. The Triceratops' turn. Lana, you're right up in the Triceratops' grill, and it's going to try and gore you on its horns. That is it's only a 12 to hit. Does that get you, Lana?
Nope.
All right, yeah, you managed to kind of deflect the horns aside, which you can tell are pretty deadly, but you able to dodge it as the Triceratops goes and bucks into you unsuccessfully. Now that's going to bring us to Navera.
Right, Navera's going to do what she does basically every time she's in an adventure with Lana and scale her Minotaur buddy to try and jump onto the back of the Triceratops.
All right. Go ahead and make me an acrobatics check.
Oh.
Oof. You go and kind of jump up onto Lana without too much trouble, but right as you're about to make the jump onto the Triceratops, you slip a little bit. You're trying to grab onto the horn and swing around, but you slide down, and you end up just at the Triceratops' feet. That's your move action. You still have an action.
Right, Omen's going to bite it on the snout, I suppose.
All right, have Omen make me an attack roll.
Okay, oof.
All right, an 11 unfortunately is not going to hit. Omen goes to bite on, but the armor, the thick hide of this Triceratops is more than Omen's capable of handling, it seems like.
Is Navera prone? Am I prone?
Navera is prone on the ground, unfortunately. Yeah. Not a great spot to be in as we move next in initiative to you, Lana. Lana, what do you want to do?
How bad is he looking?
From the instructions that you got from Moraath, 26 hit points. But like in mechanical terms, like in non-mechanical terms, you can like tell that it's close. And if you want him to get the last hit, you're gonna have to get pretty close to 1.
Need to do 25 and then tell the Grung to attack.
Yeah. So that's where you're at.
All right. I'll take another swing at it with my great axe.
Go ahead. That's absolutely going to hit. Roll damage on that.
And then I'll
13
use...
more points of damage.
Plus, I'll use my Storm Aura feature and do another additional...
Does it make a save against that, or does that just happen?
Yes. I think...
Is it dexterity?
Currently is 13.
It's a dexterity save, I think, right?
I believe it is 13.
There it is.
So
All right, so they are going to succeed on that, so they'll only take 2 of that, but in total they take 15 points of damage. Yeah, the Triceratops is getting closer and closer to the brink as we move on now to...
Thumb.
Yep. That's going to bring us... Oh, well, it's Thumb, but Thumb's still just getting ready to fire when Thumb's just...
Make sure you tell me when I'm ready!
Oh no, it's the Triceratops.
Yeah, now it's the Triceratops. The Triceratops is going to look down and just take one of its feet and stomp on you, Navera. That's an attack with the... Oh.
Don't you touch me.
Yeah, it's a 22. That's 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, that hits.
Are you still up?
Oh yeah, no, she's still up.
Oh yeah, you're a ranger. You're beefy. As the feet stomp down, the Triceratops is still thrashing about, and that's going to bring us around next initiative, which would be the top, which is you, Lados. You've prepared your sneak attack. You're ready to go.
Can I change my aim to one of the elites?
All right, go ahead and make me an attack roll with advantage because you're unseen.
All right, so short sword.
Yep, so that's an 18 because you have advantage. Absolutely going to hit. As you kind of run out of the woods and go and stab at one of the elites that are there on the ground. 7 points of piercing damage. Absolutely. And then if you want to also go ahead and roll that sneak attack because they did not see it coming. So it's an extra d6 on top. 11. You run up to one of the Grung elites, and with one kind of swift strike, your short sword cuts in and brings them down. There are now only 4 Grung remaining. Nice kill there from Lados. Anything else on your turn, Lados? Do you want to kind of like slink back in the woods, or do you want to stay in the open?
I want to slink back into the woods.
Okay. Yeah. So and then you duck back into the thick brush outside the clearing. And yeah, nice turn. Moraath, you are no longer stunned. You're in a lot of pain, but you know you're doing all right. You're doing all right. What do you want to do, Moraath? There it is. Oh, that's how you're still up. You're a barbarian, of course. What would you want to do?
He's just gonna drop his crossbow, and instead of pulling off this massive, mean-looking maul on his back, which would honestly do tons of damage, he's gonna draw a longsword from his hip, and he's gonna look real kind of fucking. He doesn't look very happy right now, but he'll run for that Triceratops.
All right, you're just diving across the battlefield. Go ahead and do so.
This would be I'm gonna make a one-handed attack because my max. Well, actually, technically, my max is still able to kill this, but I'm gonna make one-handed attack.
All right, attack away. 14 will hit. Roll damage on that.
Fingers crossed.
You will die!
9 points of damage. Oh, that's exactly what you wanted. As you
Fire now!
as you swing with the longsword, you cut into the creature. It groans and kind of shakes and moves around. And yeah, the creature looks like it's just the slightest straw away from falling in this moment.
We all
Mouth them!
Fire! Kill it! Reduce it to nothing!
All right, here it goes! And Thumb kind of leans back
I swear to God, if he misses.
and fires his blowgun. He has advantage because he's unseen.
Oh,
Hey! And the blowgun dart fires forward, and you see it hits into the side of the Triceratops, which has been like teetering and about to fall. And as this blow dart just hits, just kind of like right about the neck, it just its legs give out from underneath it, and it just slumps to the ground. And then you just hear an overwhelming chorus from all of the Grung elite warriors around, and all of them just kind of going, "Aww," as all of them kind of like look very dejected and kind of let their weapons and stuff slump to the side.
Oh, don't worry, Navera says as she gets up, basically covered in blood from the Triceratops and a bit of her own, and draws both of her blades. You won't have much longer to be sad.
Oh, jeez. All right. They look like they'd kind of given up, but now they turn back towards you, and the remaining warriors are like, "All right, if we're gonna fight about this now," as it's their turn.
They shot Navera. She's not gonna.
oh, don't worry, I'm gonna stab him.
And yeah, in that case there are one.
Which one shot Navera? Is he still alive?
Yeah, the one that shot you is still alive. The one that made that first croaking noise is down. There are 4 of them left, and they are going to fire blowguns.
I'm so dead.
Or I'm sorry, not blowguns. They're going to fire their short bows at you, Navera.
Dodge, dodge.
And I think there's a moment of pause here. So I don't know if it's necessarily. I'll say that you had time to take a dodge action here. So we'll say they have not disadvantage on this.
They would have missed. Yeah.
So it's a 7, 13.
No, it doesn't hit.
And a 7. Yeah, okay. So the blowgun, the arrows and such all kind of rain down as the fight kind of continues onwards. Barbarian still in a rage, and that's going to bring us in that case to the next in initiative, which is... It would be you next, Navera, actually.
She's just stalking towards the one that shot her with both like daggers dripped in blood, just like, you. And she's just gonna make a 2 attacks. I don't know how dual wielding works, but
Yeah,
just
that's how it works. You don't add the damage. You don't add your dex bonus to the second one. Is how it works. But you can make 2 attacks.
Okay.
Bonus action. Attack. 9 will miss, and an 8. Oh no, an 8 will miss. As you go up to him, your 2 daggers kind of slash at the air. But the Grung is very small, and you're not used to fighting a creature of. Actually, you are used to fighting a creature of the size. He's just very dodgy. And that's going to bring us next to the initiative to Lana. The battle rages on against the Grung.
Ah,
do you wanna
sad
do?
it's come to this.
don't feel sad. They deserve it.
They're just a bunch of sore losers. I'll take my great axe and swing at the nearest one.
Cut it into.
Or are they
Go
all too
ahead-
far away?
Go ahead and make it. No, you can go over to the one that Navera just went after, which is still in the clearing. That one's out in the open. Most of the other ones are kind of higher up, but
Oh, don't take the one that shot her.
14 is going to hit for 7 points of damage. The Grung is actually not quite downed by that. Has a little bit more health than that. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, folks. It's pretty good at those. Yeah, that's going to succeed. So it takes half of that. It takes 1 point of lightning there. It is still not quite downed. And that's going to whip us around to the next initiative, which is Thumb, who Thumb kind of runs out and goes over the Triceratops and jumps on top of it. And is just kind of waving at the other ground.
I got it already. Just go home. He's probably gonna die though.
And points at the one that's on the ground. And he's going to make a persuasion check with advantage. Yeah, and you watch as most of the other Grungs are just like, the ones in the trees that were offering support just kind of like hop off into the woods with a couple angry looks at Thumb. And Thumb just goes,
Mine too.
and then that's all for his turn as we move to the top of the initiative, which is Lados. There's one Grung left, and it's surrounded by 2 very angry people.
I guess I try and intimidate him to see if he can run away.
Murder.
Yeah, go. What do you want to say?
Go away, leave now.
I mean, you don't know whether it was your intimidation or whether it was the 2 figures before this Grung that is going to lead to it, but you do think that they are going to run away. And excellent. That's going to bring us next initiative to Moraath. What do you want to do, Moraath?
No, he does not live.
Oh no!
And he's gonna
3 very angry people.
fly to this one,
Okay.
right? Just kind of a style kill, and he's gonna with both hands slash downwards at this Grung.
All right, swing away. And roll damage. What Grung? As you fly downwards and sweep in like I was about to say descending angel, but that's probably the wrong word. As the Grung's head is removed from its body, and it just kind of lets out one and thumps to the ground. And meanwhile, well, not meanwhile. At that, all of the Grung have either fleed, or been slain. The Triceratops kind of lies dead on the ground with Thumb kind of dancing on top of it, and he looks over at the group of you and says,
We did it, everyone. Great job.
Navera kind of just casts Cure Wounds on herself, picks up her bow, and looks and stalks into the wilderness with Omen, muttering something about no survivors.
Oh wait, before you go, wait a minute.
and
What?
We're gonna have
you
to
watch
help
as
them
his
carry
Thumb
this
runs
back,
over
aren't
and
we?
Thumb kind of runs over and just gives you your money. And hands around to each of you 100 Bartholomew bucks, and then says,
Thank you so much.
each of you gain 1 point of experience, which means if you were level 1, you are now level 2. And then you watch as Thumb runs over to the body of the Triceratops and grabs one of the legs and just starts kind of like walking in place, like he's trying to pull it and drag it back to town.
Oh, adorable. But
I-
Navera
I
has
s-
bigger concerns.
Lados
apologize.
sighs and goes to help him.
I'll help as well.
Yes, I'll help too. I seem to have lost my temper a little bit.
Yeah, you've calmed down, and as we end our adventure, Navera, you run off into the woods after blood, but the rest of you begin the arduous journey of dragging this big Triceratops back to Thumb's village.
They're going to experience what the Fae feel for once.
And with that, that will conclude our first adventure of the evening. Thank you all very much for playing. That was a lot of fun.
Yes.
We're ahead of time. Wow.
It was good, eh? This is
Good.
probably the shortest it's gone.
Yeah, it was brisk.
Right, sweet. I was honestly like I was all prepared to like console Thumb because I did not think that we would be able to.
To pull it off.
Yeah. No, I was like, okay, you can come hunting with Navera. I mean, she'll always take more Fae killers. Like, no. But
Can I run-
we managed
Can I
it.
run a loot check before I go?
A loot check? Is that what you said?
Just check.
That's not generally how we do the kind of. I'll explain it to you a little bit after, if you'd like. But
Okay.
basically, you just get the quest rewards. And on the subject of quest rewards, would any of you like to shop?
I've only got
Yes.
300, and it's 500 for a bag, right?
That's correct.
Nah,
Yes,
nah,
it-
I'm good.
But we have Moraath, who wishes to go back to the shop. So as you walk in, a familiar jingle plays. If you need a magic item, you know where to stop. Just head on. It's around each. Sorry, it's still on the fritz. I've been working on it. But can I get you anything?
Yes, I've heard of this process called glamoring a weapon.
That is something that we can do. Yes, it is for the price of 100 of my Bartholomew bucks, which I believe you now have.
Yes, perfect. I did just get paid that. Here's the currency, and I would like it on my massive hammer, please.
Yes. What is the appearance you wish for your hammer to take?
I want it to take. I want it to be a very dark stone kind of hammer. Still a nice mahogany wooden handle, though. But I want it to be a dark stone carved with infernal runes.
That can be
And-
done.
As a bonus, whenever I swing it, it trails with hellfire.
That also can be done. And as Bartholomew kind of takes it, he just kind of whips his arm back, slaps it once, and all of a sudden it covers over with this strange change. And as you swing it, you now see trails of brilliant flame that seem to move behind it. It is a gorgeous-looking hammer that you put together.
Ha ha! Marvelous! Very good!
Yes, of
I
course.
see you are a master of your craft and not some hooligan, for lack of better term.
I'd like to think that that is the case, but, well, is there anyone else that needs anything purchased at this time? In that case, hearing nothing, we'll be back in just a moment with Adventure 2, which will be on time.